वालेकुम व्यूवर्स, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। उम्मीद करती हूँ आप सब खैरियत से होंगे। आज का हमारा टॉपिक है द डॉन ऑफ इंग्लिश। हम सब्जेक्ट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं बैकग्राउंड ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर आज स्टडी इन लिटरेरी फॉर्म एंड मूवमेंट। ये हमारे पास बुक है, इसका हम डिस्कस करें। इसमें चैप्टर 2 है हमारे पास, द डॉन ऑफ इंग्लिश। हम डिस्कस करेंगे। सबसे पहला जो हमारे पास पॉइंट है वो है द मिडल एज। सबसे पहले हम मिडिल एज को डिस्कस करेंगे, उसके बाद हम फर्दर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट डिस्कस करते जाएंगे। इन द मिडल एज लैटिन वॉज इन जनरल यूज एज अ लैंग्वेज ऑफ सीरियस लिटरेचर थ्रू आउट वेस्टर्न एंड सेंट्रल यूरोप। In the literature of entertainment, the same uniformity did not prevail. French was in use in England as well as in France, but this was due to political cause. Elsewhere, the vernaculars of the various countries were commonly employed, yet there was an underlying uniformity. From the 12th century onward, literature was dominated everywhere to a great extent, in both form and substance, by French and Provençal models. Since that time, various changes have taken place. Movement in literature and thought have arisen in different countries, but contact and interaction have never ceased. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट हमारे पास है 11th century। 11th century में क्या हुआ था? फ्रॉम टाइम अर्लियर देन द लेटर पार्ट ऑफ 11th century, hardly any literature of entertainment has been preserved in the vernaculars of the continent. A certain amount of vernacular literature has been preserved in Germany and a little in France, but in both cases this consists almost wholly of translation and adaptation from Latin. For literature of this period, which is independent of Latin, whatever it be literature of entertainment, thought, celebration, or any other kind of literature, we have to turn to the island, the British Isles and Iceland. It will be seen, therefore, that is Western and Central Europe, from the Arctic to the Mediterranean. The materials available for comparative study of literature, we mean of course independent literature, are very limited. Particularly, we have to take into account only Latin and the languages of the island. The latter, of course, had a very different history from the former. They did not find their way into writing for literary purpose before the 7th century. In Iceland, not until much later. Latin, on the other hand, was essentially a written language and had possessed a written literature for many centuries before this time. तो ये था हमारे पास 11th century एंड मिडिल एजेस। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट हम देखते हैं कौन सा डिस्कस करना है। अभी 11th century हमारे पास कंटिन्यू है। इन द ईस्ट ऑफ यूरोप, written literature in the Middle Ages was limited in the main to the Hellenistic languages, Greek and Church. The history of the latter goes back to the 9th century, but it was almost wholly inspired and dominated by the former. In Russia, a modified form of this language, which seemed not to have different generally from the vernacular, was written as early as the 11th century. But literature independent of foreign inspirations does not make its appearance before the 12th at the earliest. Thought in modern time, it is richly represented. Greek literature itself contains certain foreign elements, especially the elastical element, which was derived chiefly from Hebrew and Aramaic, but in the main it appears to be a product of independent native development. Its history is all important, for it can be tracked back to and even beyond the time when writing came into use for literary purpose. We believe the same to be true in the case of the island language more than 1200 years later. तो ये था हमारा आज का टॉपिक। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आपको आज की वीडियो अच्छी पसंद आई होगी। पसंद आई तो वीडियो को लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा। थैंक यू।